Ancient Israel, the palace of King Saul. The sun sets over the hills, casting golden light over Jerusalem. In the land of Israel, where kings rise and fall, and battles determine the fate of nations, an extraordinary friendship flourished that defied expectations, loyalty, and even death. This is the story of David and Jonathan, a bond forged in faith, tested by conflict, and immortalized in love. Saul's palace. A young David, fresh from his victory over Goliath, stands before King Saul. Jonathan, Saul's son, watches with admiration. David, a shepherd boy from Bethlehem, had become a hero overnight. With a single stone, he had slain the Philistine giant, Goliath. The people sang his praises in the streets, chanting, "Saul has slain his thousands and David his 10,000s." Jonathan approaching David, his eyes filled with admiration. Jonathan, the crown prince of Israel, was not consumed by jealousy like his father. Instead, he saw something in David, a kindred spirit. The scriptures tell us that Jonathan's soul was knit to the soul of David. He loved him as his own soul. Jonathan takes off his royal robe and armor, placing them on David. Jonathan did something remarkable. He removed his royal robe and gave it to David, his armor, his sword, even his bow. This was more than a gift, it was a sign of covenant, a declaration that he recognized David as God's chosen one, even if it meant surrendering his own right to the throne. Saul sitting in his chamber, brooding. But King Saul saw something else in David, a threat. The people adored him, and the favor of God rested upon him. He knew that David was the one whom Samuel had anointed in secret. Saul's heart turned to hatred, Saul hurling a spear at David, who narrowly escapes. Twice, Saul tried to kill David with his spear. When those attempts failed, he plotted against him in other ways. Yet, through it all, Jonathan remained loyal to David. A secret meeting between David and Jonathan under a tree in the wilderness. David, why does your father seek my life? Jonathan, I will find out. If there is evil in his heart toward you, I will warn you. Jonathan, torn between love for his father and love for his friend, devised a plan. He would discover Saul's intentions and send a signal to David through arrows shot into the field. The royal feast. Saul notices Jonathan's empty seat on the first day, but says nothing. On the second day, he can no longer contain his rage. Saul, you son of a perverse and rebellious woman, do you not know that as long as David lives, your kingdom shall never be established? Bring him to me, for he shall surely die. Jonathan's devastated expression. Saul's anger burned against Jonathan, and in his fury, he even cast his spear at his own son. Jonathan knew then David had to flee. A lonely field. Jonathan shoots arrows as a young boy retrieves them. The coded message is sent. David must go. Their final meeting was heartbreaking. David bowed before Jonathan 3 times in respect, and they embraced, weeping. Jonathan, go in peace, my brother. The Lord be between me and you, and between my descendants and your descendants forever. The wilderness. David becomes a fugitive. Time passes. Wars rage. Jonathan remains faithful to his father, even as he knows David is destined to be king. Then came the tragic day. On the battlefield of Mount Gilboa, Israel suffered a great defeat. Saul and Jonathan fought bravely, but the Philistines overtook them. Jonathan fell by the sword. Saul, wounded and broken, took his own life. David receiving the news, he tears his garments in grief. When David heard of their deaths, his sorrow was immeasurable. He lifted his voice in lament, crying. David's song for Saul and Jonathan in 2 Samuel 1:17. Then David composed a funeral song for Saul and Jonathan, and he commanded that it be taught to the people of Judah. It is known as the Song of the Bow, and it is recorded in the book of Jashar. Your pride and joy, O Israel, lies dead on the hills. Oh, how the mighty heroes have fallen. Don't announce the news in Gath. Don't proclaim it in the streets of Ashkelon, or the daughters of the Philistines will rejoice, and the pagans will laugh in triumph. O mountains of Gilboa, let there be no dew or rain upon you, nor fruitful fields producing offerings of grain. For there the shield of the mighty heroes was defiled. The shield of Saul will no longer be anointed with oil. The bow of Jonathan was powerful, and the sword of Saul did its mighty work. They shed the blood of their enemies and pierced the bodies of mighty heroes. How beloved and gracious were Saul and Jonathan. They were together in life and in death. They were swifter than eagles, stronger than lions. O women of Israel, weep for Saul, for he dressed you in luxurious scarlet clothing, in garments decorated with gold. Oh, how the mighty heroes have fallen in battle. Jonathan lies dead on the hills. How I weep for you, my brother Jonathan. Oh, how much I loved you, and your love for me was deep, deeper than the love of women. Oh, how the mighty heroes have fallen. Stripped of their weapons, they lie dead. David, now king, sitting on his throne. Though Jonathan was gone, David did not forget his covenant of love. He asked, David, is there still anyone left of the house of Saul, that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake? Ziba, a former servant of Saul, bowing before David. Ziba, there is still a son of Jonathan, Mephibosheth, who is crippled in both feet. The arrival of Mephibosheth, trembling before David. Mephibosheth, what is your servant, that you should notice a dead dog like me? David, do not fear. For your father Jonathan's sake, I will restore to you all the land of Saul, and you shall eat at my table always. Mephibosheth seated at the royal table, dining as a son of the king. Thus, the love of Jonathan endured, even beyond death. David's kindness to Mephibosheth was not just an act of mercy, it was a declaration that love is stronger than power, stronger than ambition, stronger than death itself. A sunset over Jerusalem. The story of David and Jonathan is one of the greatest friendships ever told. It reminds us that true love is sacrificial, selfless, and eternal. Even in the face of betrayal, war, and death, love remains.